Welcome to DK Champ. I wanted to go over the NFL Showdown tonight with New England versus Buffalo, and this game could be very interesting. The one thing that sticks out to me when I see Buffalo now playing a good team is going to be the win over the Vikings about midway through the season when Buffalo just blew out the Vikings. So I don't know why that sticks out to me, but it does. And it makes me lean toward wanting to play more of the Buffalo receivers in this game. But I'm not going to do that. I think this game is going to be different. I think New England's going to blow them out, and there could be some really good value here. I think the first pick that you have to make is going to be White at running back, and I think that is going to be my captain for the majority of my games, and I might switch it out and put New England defense in there as captain as well, since Anderson has thrown, he's coming off a game where he threw 3 interceptions, so I think you have to look at the defense here, but I'm not going to put them in every lineup by any means because you never know how these games are going to go. So my prediction of how this game will go is going to be New England gets up big. They play James White. He runs the ball until they get to about the fourth quarter, and then we'll be looking at a different running back. And I think Barner is going to be the guy that we're going to see. He could potentially be the one that is going to be running the ball here at the end. In a close game, he's just going to get a ton of attempts. He didn't get many yards against Chicago, but Chicago's pretty daggone good defensively. So I think he'll get some touches here, and I think he's worth a play. Now, I would not put him in my primary lineup if that's the only thing I was going to roll with. I would definitely refrain from putting him in it, but he's going to be in some of my lineups. So I just wanted to say his name. So you can go a couple different ways with this. You can go with Brady, Edelman, and really just stack it up, hoping that this game is just scoring a ton of points. And then you could also, I'm going to show you kind of some of the options here. We'll go this way. And then whatever you have left here, you could get Barner in there. You could get Hogan. Well, we only have 26 average. So now you're looking at some of the Buffalo receivers since you have to have one guy from Buffalo. And I would, if it were one lineup, then I would go with Zay Jones. He got 5 targets last week, 8 the week before, 4. He's going to get some targets this week. You could also go with Benjamin. He is coming off of 5 targets, 6 targets, 5 targets. So all of these receivers are so cheaply priced that it makes me want to go with some of these receivers in a lineup, but I'll get to that in a second. So those are the two ones that stick out. Let's see. Just a couple targets a game. So I'm going to definitely go with Zay Jones. That leaves me with 31. I could go with a Buffalo kicker. I could go with a couple of other Buffalo guys. Or you could go with Dorsett, who, depending on how this game goes, could get some targets. It is pretty risky. He started out extremely well, getting a ton of targets, and then the last 2 weeks have just completely fallen off. I don't think he played the week 6, so he could be a diamond in the rough there for this price. So that's kind of like one lineup and way I'm looking at it. The next way is going to be you could go with a defense first, and we would definitely go with the Patriots, 74 in the captain spot. And then that leaves us some room to go with White. It gives us... So Gronkowski didn't play last week. He's coming back this week. So he's getting a ton of targets as usual. He has not been on the high-end production that he has been in the years past, and that's what scares me away from him for the price. Gordon has been the guy that's stepping up and getting more targets. You can see he went last 3 games 4, 9, 7, and before that he was pretty much non-existent. He does have a lingering injury that he's been dealing with, a hamstring. So I would pretty much just kind of fade him. I think Edelman's the way to go. and then of course Brady, and then at least it was 46, and then that gives us a chance to, if you want to play Barner, you can. You can play Hogan here. I like Hogan there, and then being able to play my Buffalo guy is going to be Benjamin. So you could go that approach. And then if you really want to go for the moneymaker, and we are looking at no rules whatsoever, but I'm going for, if I'm just, all right, there's a couple ways to do it, but I'm going to go with White in this part because I think they're going to blow them out, okay? And then I think Buffalo's going to have to throw it a ton to get back in this game. So you could go with Derek Anderson, but if he throws three interceptions, you're going to be in trouble. So I'm going to roll down here and get who I think are going to be his favorite targets, and that's going to be Benjamin. And then we're going to go with Zay Jones. And then that frees up a ton of money for me to mess around with. So I'm not spending a ton because I have two players that are equal to basically one guy that's not going to get a ton of minutes in the New England side. So you could go with McCoy if you wanted to. I think he's supposed to be back this week. He is cleared of concussion protocol. So let's see how McCoy's done this year. He's just been all over the place here. He was injured early in last week's game, so he'd only got 0.1 fantasy point. And I'm not going to play him. Ivory has been stepping in for McCoy, and he's just not been that productive, and I don't think he's going to be very productive versus New England. So you could go with Ivory here. I think he's going to be your next best bet as far as Buffalo's concerned. I just don't see anybody else that is going to have any production. So, and just not knowing what's going to happen with McCoy, it's just too risky for me to mess with. So I'm going to stay away from these two guys. But I'm going to go with Edelman, and this is just going to be like all straight receivers. So Edelman, and then I'm going to risk it with Gronkowski, and then that leaves me money for Derek Anderson if I want him, which I don't. I push on down, and I can get the defense here. So, well, I don't want to do the defense if I've got guys coming against it. So let's scroll down a little further. You can go with kicker here. I'm going to roll with Hogan. So this is going to be just strictly receivers, just hoping that there's just, these guys are the three that are catching it for New England before, and then Buffalo's just trying to catch up here, so they're throwing a ton, and then James White's just going to be running the ball. So that's kind of my prediction there. I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and submit it. But you can go a couple different ways with this. I'll probably do one lineup where I stack all of the Buffalo guys and just see what happens from there. But just know in these showdowns, you're not trying to put in what you think might be the best lineup. You're trying to put in the guys that may not be picked, like Zay Jones. I mean, I put him in a captain spot. I would feel comfortable putting him in the captain spot over Benjamin, and I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I just think James White is just too chalk not to put in. But you want to try to mix it up and play around a little bit with it so that these guys are not highly owned and you end up winning the contest, because it's not worth it if you're not putting crazy lineups in these showdowns. So good luck tonight. I hope this helps you make some of your decisions, and good luck, and hope you win a lot of money.